So, let's see. Tells you again. Okay. Dark blue is previous, light blue is the one before. That's interesting. That's why this area is dark blue. Right, so we're doing another layer. These are clear again, so it's basically just exactly the same thing. So there's 2 ones on this 2. And there's a 1 bit here. Oh, the 1s and the 4s are swapped. But like you would layer bricks on a build, where you would kind of put 1 and then put 1 off. So you don't have a straight line for a cracked crawler. Or in this case, for all of a certain level of brick, just go. It's a nice sound. It was all up here. There's actually a circle invisible, which I assume is for later. Yeah, it's on the top of the castle. Top of the castle, top of the tower. We're on step 4 at the moment. Let's get a lot of these cubies out. You kind of can't offset them on single ones though. Don't flick it. I've been going to there, 5 of them. That's a good number because it's only 5 more than the outside of this section. I haven't put the bits there either, but it's easier to put bigger bits on than it is to put smaller bits. I'm hoping I'm leaning down when I'm trying to focus and getting cut off by the mic. I'm also hoping I'm not talking too quiet for the mic to pick me up. I'm just straightening some of the bits. Right, this is a 2. I'm going to put that the last like pieces in the middle. It's going to be weird. It's going to be, you're going to have to look at it from one side, because otherwise you're going to just get these weird big open windows. Although I suppose as each level works on, it'll look less weird. Okay, 2, 1, 1, 2, and then all of the dots again. Okay. I think it's one of those ones where if you start out quite organised, it's quite quick to work with. And then it gets even quicker and quicker as you go along, because obviously you have less and less pieces to actually choose from. I'm calling them Lego. These are called Nanoblocks. I believe they're just called construction toys. As a whole. That covers Nanoblocks, Lego bricks, Meccano. Meccano is still around, I think. Meccano's the metal one, which actually involves using a spanner. And then I think there was Connect. Connect? It was kind of like star-shaped pieces that kind of slid into each other. I actually got a solar panel Connect. What's it called? Merry-go-round. It didn't do up and down. I don't think it did up and down action. It just did circles, but obviously the faster it spun, the more little arms would go outwards. Is that? I suppose that's not really merry-go-round. There is a ride that does that. My problem is this, because there's a gap right in the middle. I'm worried that as I go up and start doing these pieces, they're going to collapse inwards. Okay, yeah. But we're on the next level, I suppose. So this one will stop that happening. Level 5. It's just a load of the off-brown bits. Mostly 4 and 4 again. So 4 bigger bits. Doesn't that mean there's going to be an overlap? Oh no, it's a 4 by 4 area. 4. Oh, I get the feeling this grass is... I think this is what I was talking about earlier. There's extra grass, because this piece and this little grass piece over there don't actually get used in this, so they're going to have to go in a storage bag. Maybe for use on a build your own kind of thing, if you get enough pieces. Just slide that along. I think you can slide them along slightly. Yeah. Where's this? Sideways. Now I've done this wrong because I just went with the assumption before. So because I'm pulling it apart, it's literally pulling apart bits on the bottom. So this one's fine here. I just need to change the order of this small one. And there's large ones next to it, so make sure this is back on first. Always read your instructions. Doesn't help that I distracted myself talking about the excess screen parts. It'll be interesting to count how many pieces are extra by the end of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the first layer. First layer of how you cover my face. Might take it a bit to focus on me afterwards. That's the first level. Oh no, didn't do too bad that time. First 5 stages, so we're just going to build it up for the next couple of ones. So 6. Is 6 and 7 are just the same as 3 and 4. Except we don't have that random use of 2 bits. It must be that they didn't produce enough, although I would have thought you would have produced enough, so I'm not quite sure why. Right, but the C3s have moved slightly, so C3 is in the middle, 1 off. In the middle, 1 off. I remember to do that. yeah, I remember to do the inside. Blues. Twos, not blues. Twos. And then last 2 pieces of glass. And now we do the columns. It might be slightly easier to use the pliers on the smaller ones, especially if you don't have very dexterous fingers. Even without looking at the diagram, you can just sort of base it on where they are to get them aligned properly. I got that circle too early, but I'll just put it there. Steps of 1, then a 2. 1 and then a 2. I think it's quite obvious these have been moulded because the dots all have where they've been cut off from the mould maker, they've got like a deeper dot on the end, which is that focusing or you see how that's got a deeper dot? Whereas the ones where they've got a bigger base, they've done the dot in the middle of the base. It's really hard to get this camera to focus sometimes. Doesn't help that I don't really know which direction to do it. There, see that dot there? It's kind of got a white centre. I wonder if the that out? Focus. Right to focus. Just picked apart the bust there, I think. Godzilla. Godzilla comes to London. Oh, that's a good point. Does England have a giant monster? Cause Japan is Godzilla, isn't it? Or is it? I don't see. This is where my knowledge fails me. I don't actually know very specifics of certain things. Such as words. I'm pretty sure Godzilla is supposed to be China or Japan. It's an Asian country. And then King Kong is I need 2 of these. King Kong is New York, isn't it? Because King Kong goes up the States building, I believe. I don't think England has one. Because didn't they do Cloverfield, I think, to try and make an American, another, you know, one that's an American monster that's based in America from the get-go. It's, I think King Kong and Godzilla are technically off islands. Oh no, I need circles. Circles in the tower. I wonder why they went for circle, probably just to give it some difference to make it more obvious. I need to look at a picture of Big Ben, really, to understand what the features are of it. Needle nose must be really thin nosed. Referring to the needle nose pliers. So whereas this one has a flat end, this has a thin end. Reflective items is a good idea when, like I said, I've got quite a light source underneath. I've got a light source on this as well. I think it just doesn't do much of a difference. It's probably more for paper. I forgot one there. So where are we? I've put on a jumper now so you may see it turning up on my hands. I think what's 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just a continuation. Yeah, I think I'll put the glass on last. It does make it more awkward if I go wrong, but don't know if I should keep this just the full length, because I think I've been going for about 40 minutes now. Give or take. This whole tech test at the beginning of my recording. And you know, it's like, do I keep one recording or do I put one build into 2 pieces? I mean, it's got 14/15, so I could go to this. I'll put 8 on, and then I'll just decide later, but I'll have to stop recording and start again. Because I'm using OBS, and I use Adobe Premiere to make the videos, and if you use make proxies, which are decompressed versions of the original footage in order to make it easier to process the videos, the proxies can be absolutely massive if just for a 45-minute clip, which means they take up a lot of space on your hard drives, and I am not particularly rich, which means I can't afford the space usage for too many videos at once. I mean, I think I did a free one and it took up most of the space on my 1TB drive, and that's the default drive in my computer. Tera? I think it's Tera. I should know. I've done computing. I've done computing enough to know that what everybody says is the skip up of 1000 is incorrect. It's actually 1024, because it uses the 8-bit system. I think that's all of the browns. Let's just put the glass on, remembering to interleaver them. So I'll put this one this end, this two this end. Interleaver. See, I figured out the word later on. So at the moment we've got almost the 2 levels of the... Is this the parliamentary building? Done. And the first 2 levels of the tower. I think when I go to restart the thing, I'll also figure out what... I'll also find out what the tower is actually called. If only to inform everyone else. I might actually go to level 8 just to make sure this stuff doesn't fall apart. It shouldn't fall apart as I wander off. That's the fortunate thing about putting that layer on before, is that the hole is not as deep if I lose bits into it. See, I've just put a jumper on because I was feeling cold. I mean, I'm surprised I'm feeling cold. I'm wearing a thermal top. And the moment I put it on, first few seconds, I'm fine. And then as it starts to get to like a minute, I start getting too warm again. So what I tend to do is I tend to wear openable ones, but I'm not. I'm wearing a full jumper. But at least with a zip I can have the middle open. I think it's just my arms get cold, not my actual main body. So I need arm sleeves. Right, that's 7 done. I'll just... I have a slight gap in my a slight gap while I just stop this. But yeah. So that's 7 layers of 15 done. So, I'm doing Nanoblock Big Ben. Which is slightly incorrect because I just checked. Big Ben is the name of the bell. The tower, which is this part on the model, is called, or was originally called, just the clock tower, but it was renamed for the Diamond Jubilee of Elizabeth II to the Elizabeth Tower. So that was around 2012. So it hasn't had the name for very long. Almost 10 years? But we're 8 steps through 15. And we're just getting to the roof of the building. And we're using Nanoblocks, which in comparison to Lego blocks, just as a reminder, is... let me see, I've got a flat one piece of Lego, and a flat one of the Nanoblock is the teeny and tiny in comparison. And I managed not to lose this. I put it in a clever place, which is just underneath my camera. So now I've got to start using these dark blue, although they are very dark blue. I don't know why they didn't go for a black, but I suppose it must just be to match the slight slate colour of what's on the building. So let's rotate this back to how it should be. And then it's mostly blues mixed in with the dark, off brown. I'm calling it off brown. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's off auburn, which is like a more orangey colour. Because this isn't beige. Is this beige? No, I think beige is an off-white, isn't it? Like every time I ask myself a question, it's like I make a statement and then I instantly question it. I need to have a bit more confidence in my answers, even if they're wrong. And then just find them later and apologise if I'm wrong. I have this little sheet of paper. It's actually getting quite ragged now, which explains the importance of mistakes. Because mistakes are important for growing and learning. I don't think one of these is quite in the level because I can't get this piece on. And basically it says mistakes should be positively accepted. Because it firstly allows you to do behaviour that makes mistakes, and then secondly it allows you to learn to acknowledge that you've made a mistake. But if you don't allow for mistakes, it means people are afraid of making them, which puts undue stress on people. Similarly, if you already chastising them for making a mistake, they won't admit to it because they're afraid of making a mistake. So it's like, allow mistakes, obviously tell people off for making them, but don't say you shouldn't have made a mistake. Because I mean, they shouldn't have, but it's just undue pressure. People will make mistakes. We are not perfect beings. As long as we're willing to apologise and say, yes, I made a mistake, I think it's alright. As long as they're sincere in their apology. People who aren't sincere or try to make excuses are a bit, well, stupid. I guess would be the term. Right, so I'm using, this has, I'm on to 9, and it's got me using these blocks, which is the ones where it's a 2-1, it's a 2-bit, or should be a 2-bit, but it's actually just a 1 in the middle. Might change to this camera for focusing. If I stay still, it might actually manage to focus. I wonder how close it can focus. Not doing massively. Might be easier for doing this one. But you get the idea, it's a 1 with a 2. But they're just going to go here, and this is obviously to make the point. Because it means the ones on top can then go sort of in the centre. So rather than having 2 on top, you've only got to have 1. Which is what it does in part 10. So I'm assuming these 2 are clear again. The bits of the top left. Because this appears to be becoming a sort of smaller tower. So this way. Oh, okay, back up my finger. Am I sweating? Or am I just oh. Oh, it didn't escape as far as the last one. Sorry about my chair sounds. I put them in the right. No, I put them in the right way. I looked at the wrong level there. Like 4 corner pieces. Now they've used white lines on this bit, but there's a 2, a 4, and then a 4 by 4. I think. Yeah, so 2, 2, 4. Does this light actually affect that far down? It does slightly. A 2, a 4, and a 4 by 4. And then 2 4s down the middle of this. And then we miss this side, but we put all the dots back on this side. Except this bit's changed to be a 1. So these are obviously, what are they called? I want to say turrets, but that's not right. I want to say pirouettes, but again, I'm not entirely sure what that word means. So I might stop to just look for that. Basically, it's a pointy thing on the top of the building. Now I'm thinking pipelet, but that's a cooking thing. Which you use to do a pipelet is for squeezing on things like the icing. So these 2s have just become 1s. I'm going to start adding circles into this pattern, possibly because it's supposed to be viewed from both sides. My box is not very stable, I keep knocking it ever so slightly with my knees. Yeah, I've just got this part to do. Now on to the next one, which is bit of time. Now on to step 10. Thanks for watching this random workings video. If you like what you saw and want some more, please hit the like button, maybe subscribe, and then check out the videos and playlists that have popped up on screen. Either way, it's bye for now, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day.